When someone begins their spiritual awakening, the world doesn't just look different, it feels different. Colors seem more vivid, sounds become sharper, and emotions hit with an intensity that wasn't there before. This isn't a coincidence, it's a shift in consciousness. The more aware one becomes, the more they tune into the subtle frequencies that were previously ignored. It's like waking up from a deep sleep and suddenly realizing the background noise that was always there. The higher self starts communicating, guiding, and revealing truths that were once hidden under layers of conditioning. This heightened awareness brings both gifts and challenges. On one hand, intuition becomes stronger, allowing for deeper self-discovery and a clearer sense of purpose. But on the other, it also makes one more sensitive to negative energy, deception, and superficiality. What once felt normal, small talk, crowded spaces, meaningless distractions, now feels draining. This is because the energy field has expanded and the body is adjusting to a higher frequency. The world hasn't changed, you have. And with that change comes a new level of responsibility, managing your energy wisely. The key is energetic balance. Practices like meditation, spending time in sacred spaces, and limiting exposure to draining environments help maintain stability. Many find comfort in nature, where the noise of the world fades and inner wisdom becomes clearer. Journaling, breath work, and reflection allow the mind to process this transformation without overwhelm. This isn't about escaping reality. It's about learning how to exist within it without becoming consumed by it. And once one realizes how much energy transference plays a role in their daily life, it becomes clear why certain environments feel exhausting. Energy is constantly moving, shifting, and transferring between people. When someone experiences spiritual growth, their energy field becomes more refined, making them highly receptive to external vibrations. This is why large crowds, chaotic environments, and surface-level conversations can feel overwhelming. The subconscious picks up on every unspoken emotion, every hidden intention, and every unresolved energy floating in the room. It's not just social exhaustion, it's energy transference at play. The more attuned someone becomes to higher frequencies, the harder it is to tolerate interactions that lack depth or authenticity. This isn't about being antisocial. It's about energetic self-preservation. Imagine being in a crowded mall, feeling fine one moment, then suddenly exhausted without a clear reason. That's because energy is contagious. Being around others who are stressed, anxious, or emotionally chaotic can pull one's vibration down without them even realizing it. Chosen ones, those who are on a divine purpose, naturally emit a high-frequency vibration that others are drawn to. Unfortunately, this means many people will unknowingly drain their energy, seeking relief without offering anything in return. Without proper boundaries, this leads to burnout. The solution? Emotional independence and conscious interaction. Protecting one's energy field isn't about avoiding people. It's about being selective with where and how energy is spent. Simple techniques like visualizing a protective light, setting clear energetic boundaries, and spending time in solitude help prevent depletion. Instead of absorbing energy from the environment, one must learn to cultivate and maintain their own vibration. This shift is crucial because as spiritual evolution progresses, the need for solitude becomes more evident, not as isolation, but as a way to recharge and reconnect with one's higher self. Solitude isn't loneliness. It's a sacred space for transformation. When someone embarks on their spiritual awakening, they often feel an intense need to withdraw from the noise of the world. This is because true self-discovery happens in stillness. In solitude, the mind quiets, the inner voice becomes clearer, and one can finally hear the guidance of their higher self without external interference. The distractions that once seemed normal, constant notifications, meaningless conversations, social obligations, start to feel like barriers to true clarity. This isn't about avoiding life. It's about learning to navigate it with awareness. People on a spiritual mission often experience periods of isolation, not as punishment, but as preparation. In these moments, Deep reflection allows old belief systems to dissolve, making room for a stronger intuition and a more authentic path. This is why many spiritual leaders throughout history, monks, sages, mystics, have sought solitude. It's not a retreat from reality. It's a return to energetic balance. The modern world thrives on distraction, but those who embrace solitude step into a space where true spiritual growth happens. It's where vision, purpose, and direction become undeniable. But solitude must be intentional. It's not about passively withdrawing. It's about actively engaging in practices that elevate consciousness. Meditation, journaling, walks in nature, and deep breathing exercises help strengthen the connection to the divine calling. Instead of fearing isolation, one must learn to manifest strength from it. When used correctly, solitude doesn't create distance from the world. It builds the energetic foundation needed to engage with it from a place of power. And when that happens, social interactions shift, making small talk and shallow connections feel almost unbearable. One of the most surprising shifts after a spiritual awakening is the sudden inability to tolerate small talk. Conversations that once seemed harmless, chatting about the weather, gossip, meaningless social pleasantries, now feel exhausting. This isn't because of arrogance or detachment. It's because the mind has expanded. When someone starts operating at a higher frequency, they naturally crave depth, truth, and authenticity. Superficial exchanges feel like static noise compared to the deep, energetic connections their soul now seeks. This is why many chosen ones feel disconnected from old social circles. The vibrational gap becomes undeniable. This shift can feel isolating at first. Friends may not understand why someone suddenly prefers solitude over social gatherings, or why they seem uninterested in the usual drama. But the truth is, once someone begins aligning with their divine purpose, they simply can't engage in things that don't resonate anymore. Conversations about personal evolution, universal truths, consciousness, and spiritual wisdom become far more fulfilling than mindless distractions. The need for validation from others fades, replaced by a strong inner knowing that one's path is leading them exactly where they need to be. The key to navigating this change is balance. Cutting off every surface-level interaction isn't necessary. Sometimes, lighthearted conversations serve as a bridge to deeper discussions. Instead of resisting, one can subtly guide conversations towards self-discovery, intuition, or transformation. However, it's also important to recognize when a connection has reached its limit. Not everyone is meant to walk this journey with you, and that's okay. As social circles evolve, new connections, ones based on shared spiritual growth, naturally start forming. And when that happens, what once felt isolating turns into something profoundly empowering. For most of their lives, chosen ones have been told they're too sensitive, as if sensitivity were a flaw. But after a spiritual awakening, it becomes clear that this heightened awareness is actually a gift. Sensitivity isn't weakness, it's intuition in action. It's the ability to read energy, feel vibrations, and perceive beyond what others can see. This energetic balance allows one to sense when something is off, when a situation isn't aligned, or when someone's words don't match their energy. What used to feel like an emotional burden is actually a spiritual leadership quality, guiding one toward deeper self-discovery and alignment with their divine purpose. Instead of suppressing this inner wisdom, one must learn how to use it. Sensitivity makes it easier to manifest, as emotions fuel energy transference and direct the subconscious toward desired outcomes. The key is learning how to channel this gift rather than be overwhelmed by it. Practices like meditation, grounding techniques, and intentional reflection help transform sensitivity into empowerment. Many spiritual guides, healers, and leaders have embraced this very path. Their ability to feel deeply allows them to inspire transformation in others. Sensitivity isn't something to escape from, it's something to master. The moment someone fully embraces their higher self, everything shifts. Instead of absorbing the world's chaos, they become a beacon of clarity. Instead of feeling drained by social interactions, they learn to regulate their energy field, choosing when and where to invest their vibration. Life becomes less about fitting in and more about fully stepping into one's spiritual mission. And once that happens, solitude no longer feels lonely. Deep connections become effortless, and the world starts aligning in ways that once seemed impossible. The question is, are you ready to own your power?